calling all cyclists with tight hamstrings. How many times have you stretched your hammies and they always feel like steel cables? I'm Coach Matt Pippin, and today I'm going to show you a mobility exercise that will put some WD-40 on those hammies. Ever go for a long ride on your bike and you wake up the next day with hamstrings so tight no matter how much stretching you do? This is usually caused by poor strength in the quads and hip flexors when your hamstrings are lengthened. Now, as a cyclist, I know you have strong quads, but when the hamstrings are being stretched out, it's a whole new ballgame. So if I'm in this position right here, if I go to stretch this hamstrings nice and lengthened, but having the quads having strength in this position along with the hip flexors is what we're talking about. Now, by placing the hamstrings in that stretch position and contracting your quads and hip flexors, your nervous system will finally unlock those steel cables running up your hamstrings. Now, the key is strengthening while in the stretch position. That's where the magic happens. So next time you feel like your hamstrings are all locked up, instead of just stretching them, hop on the floor and give this exercise from my 30-day program, the Strong and Mobile Cyclist, a try. At first, it will appear super simple, but once you do the first couple of reps, you'll feel firsthand how your hamstrings will finally start to lighten up. So the only equipment you're going to need is something like a marker. So this is like a 1/2 inch. A little bit bigger would make it a little bit more difficult, but this is going to help block our lumbar spine from coming to the party. So a lot of times when people try to lift their legs straight up, so kind of like a kick motion, you start to tuck your pelvis underneath. That means it's coming from your back. So sometimes it's going to start to kind of irritate your lower back. So we want to take him completely out of the equation with the marker. Now, I also have a yoga block here with me, and I'm going to show you guys an alternative version of this if you're not quite that mobile. The block kind of tends to help out a little bit with that. So to do this setup, you're going to lay on our back, you're going to take this marker and you're going to put it right behind your belly button in the small of your lower back. Now from here, we just want to make sure we kind of understand what it's doing back there. So from here, I want to use my abs to kind of push my spine down onto the marker. I want to put about 1 pound of pressure. So imagine there's a weight scale with that marker, 1 pound. And then I'm going to use my little muscles along my spine, my erectors, to kind of pull myself off of that stick. So now I'm not touching it, and now I'm going to go back down and push down. You can keep doing that a couple times to kind of familiarize yourself with what that feels like, but the end game is to have 1 pound of pressure on that stick throughout the duration of the exercise. Now, if you're not that mobile, you're going to want to grab this. So from here, our goal is we're going to pull our knee as close to our chest as possible. So right now I should feel a little bit of a stretch here, but I'm also feeling some activity here in the front of my hip. From here, I can get my hand here, perfect. If you're less mobile, that's when you're going to want to use this block. So let's say you can only get your leg here, and obviously I can't reach with my hand. That's when I would use my block, okay? So from here, I'm going to max out my hip flexion. Now once I start, I don't want my hip to move whatsoever. So from here, I'm going to start to drive my hip up into my hand, and my hand into my leg. From here, we are going to slowly start to create that tension, and I'm going to start to extend my leg up as high as I can without my knee going south, and then bend right back down. That's 1 rep. So now we're going to do our knee extension, passive range lift-offs. Here we go, 9 more reps. Up, and back down. Squeeze that heel to your butt, right back up. Don't get lazy here. Drive your quad into your hand into your quad. Back up. You should feel everything on the front of your leg, and then also you're getting a wonderful hamstring stretch. So if you got tight hamstrings, here we go. This is how we get better. Let's get 4 more. Up and back down. 3 more. Up, back down. Up. 2 more. Back down. Up, last 1, here we go, max out, crush the hand into the quad, and relax. Now you'll notice my legs started to drift as I got tired. That's going to happen. In a perfect world, you want your knee here while you extend over, that way we can almost look like we're Cirque du Soleil type, but that's not going to happen the first time you do this. So just do the best you can, but always make sure you maintain that pressure here between the hand and the hip, so we get some good stuff here while we're extending the leg. I'm going to go ahead and spin around so you guys can see the left side.
Now, you might have one leg that's pretty good and you have to use your hand. The other leg, you might need the yoga ball. Sometimes we have some imbalances. Now, take that object, once again, put it in your lower back. Make sure you know what 1 pound of pressure feels like with your spine. Take my left hand, I'm going to put it right here on the top of my knee. I know my left leg's a little bit better, so I can keep my knee here a little bit. Here we go. Crush leg into hand, hand into leg. Let's go up for our 10 of our passive range liftoffs. Back up. Back up. You can see my leg is starting to drift. Try not to let it. I'm still trying to fight in as much hip flexion as I can. My knee to my chest. Back up. Let's get 4 more. Back up. And 3. Keep that 1 pound of pressure on that stick. You're going to want to put more, but resist the urge. Take the lower back out of it. 1 more good one. Crush your hand into your leg. Feel the top of the hip burn. Slowly bring it down. Whew. Good job, guys. All right, so we're basically doing an isometric hip contraction, and that's what you're going to feel on the top of your leg while we're working on knee extension, so we can kind of loosen up those hamstrings while also building a better knee. So your progressions, 10 reps each side, then you can work your way up to 15 to 20 reps, and then you can actually add in another set if you'd like, or you can also increase the size of your marker. The bigger the marker is, the less the lower back's going to be able to come to the party, making the exercise a little bit more difficult.
Now, if you want even more mobility goodness, check out my 3 must-have mobility moves in the link below. It includes another hip exercise that is my all-time favorite, and I know you'll love it too. It's completely free, so check it out. And until next time, remember to be strong, be mobile.